Hi, my name is Matt Vriesman. I'm a history teacher at Kentwood Public Schools. And this past year, I was honored with the National History Teacher of the Year title. A lot of that starts with my partnership with working with the Grand Rapids Public Museum. So it started way back in the COVID times. I was looking for a creative project. We were doing online learning, which wasn't the greatest thing. And someone forwarded me an idea about connecting with the museum. And I came up with the idea of making COVID journals for my students. I reached out to the museum. I didn't know how interested they'd be. And right away, my experience with the museum was fantastic. They emailed me back. They said, this is a great idea. I pitched it to the students, and a lot of my students said this was their favorite part of the online learning. And they kept track of their stories of COVID and made their own primary sources that the museum could keep in their files. I've been using the research of Dr. Jelks in the book he wrote about African Americans in the Furniture City. I was like, I really want some resource to make this more interactive. What if we could somehow make a virtual tour? So I just threw that out there at the museum, and right away I got an email. They're like, this sounds fantastic. And they set up a meeting, and they actually had me come into the archives with them. I got to feel like a real historian. We're going through old Grand Rapids press clippings. We're going through their online database. And it was exhilarating for me. And then the final product is the best lesson I have of the year. But students are just so much more engaged when we're talking about the battle of against Jim Crow and development of the NAACP. And when all of a sudden we can take these national themes and we can place it on our streets in a virtual tour, and we're going through the lesson, and a student is like, oh my goodness, my grandma goes to that church. What? W.E.B. Du Bois was there? The NAACP started a fight against Jim Crow? What? And it's just so relevant and powerful.
When I was in AP US History freshman year, our teacher did a brief lesson on the history of Jim Crow in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it is super important that kids learn about the history of Jim Crow in our local towns to, number one, dispel the notion that it was a purely Southern institution, that it also impacted places in the North as well, and also so that students can understand how important the fight for equality is for people of color across the United States.
I would definitely say that my partnership with the museum has made my class and my lessons so much more impactful. If there's any teacher out there who is considering reaching out to the museum, I'm like 100% you should absolutely do this. The support I got from the museum staff was just above and beyond what I expected when I first reached out to them. They were so gracious and kind, and if you have an idea, reach out to the museum, and their expertise can help take that to fruition and just make your class come alive more for your students.